Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to SOS. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and I'm saving our sex lives one bedroom at a time. I am so honored and privileged to have the lovely one and only Mrs. Danielle Pettiford. How are you doing this evening,
Well,
beautiful?
I'm doing phenomenal, and it is an honor to be here with you. Okay, I'm the one and only, but you were the first. And
I
so
see what you did there.
you see that? You see that? It's a blessing to be here on your show.
Well, I thank you so much for joining me. You're a busy lady, and I thank you for taking the time out to grace all of us with your presence. We have been doing this series, Danielle, and I need you to understand this has been so much fun for me because it's all about the ladies. We are loving on the ladies this entire month. And so I didn't want to disrespect any of the other holidays and other celebrations and things going on in May, but the one that means the most to me is this one. I
Ooh,
already understand Mother's Day was 2 days ago. I know, but we are celebrating all month
can
long
we do
on
that?
SOS.
Are we
Can we?
live?
Yes.
Girl, let me get my flowers then. Let me just bring those
Yes.
right here front and center because, yes, it is Mother's Day all month, okay?
All May. Mother's Day, all May. You see? That's what it
Mother's
is.
Day all May, yes. Let me give you a
That's what
little
we're
bit right
doing.
here.
Yeah, so we want to send love and blessings, peace and light to all the mommies out there, moms to be, moms in waiting, moms
Hearted
hoping.
folks, TTs, all them caregivers of all kind, because there's a mother in everybody, every
You better
woman.
say it.
There's a mother in every woman, isn't it true?
It is so true. And the
We got
godmothers who never had their own through their womb, but we just want to wish you the happiest Mother's Day ever. And I hope that you were showered with love and everybody took care of you because you deserve it.
mm,
So we're going to share our foundational scripture, which is something that I have used for every episode for this series, which is help my spouse only wants me for sex. And it is First Corinthians 7:4. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. This thing has been taken out of context for centuries. Everybody wants to focus on the A part, but not the B part. And the A
mm.
part is, oh, we as women don't have control over our own bodies. And the B part just somehow is just left out of that conversation. And it leaves, I think, many women feeling as if I don't have the right or the authority to say no.
Mm.
That's the takeaway, right? And if we do, then we're guilted or shamed into saying no and told that we're not taking care of our husbands and we're not being a dutiful wife and all of these things. So Danielle, I need to know what has been your experience with this
Ooh,
scripture.
you want to get me in all kinds of trouble. Let me just make sure Mr. Pettiford ain't nowhere around
Uh-oh.
because it's interesting because I think in the beginning of your marriage, everything is just so wonderful and hot and heavy, and you just can't wait to jump into bed. If you did it right, and we did, okay, so we waited until we
Yes.
got married to consummate the marriage. We couldn't wait to jump in that bed. Matter of fact, we was racing down the aisle to jump in the next nearest bed, right?
Right.
But it wasn't long before reality sets in, responsibilities. You start to encounter the person that you didn't meet before, the one
Mm-hmm.
that shows up when they get frustrated and you didn't know. And so it's almost like the fairy tale starts to dismantle. And
Right.
after a while, you're dealt with the reality of who the person is, the responsibilities, the truth. And at some point, something leaves the bedroom. Some
Mm.
passion, some desire leaves the bedroom, and it starts to feel like duty. Now,
Yes.
it's unfortunate because who talks about these things? I didn't have a mother in the church that would talk to me about, girl, it's not always going to be spice unless you make it spice. You got to make it spice, honey. But it ain't going to stay if you don't work it. Nobody told you that. You didn't know what was going
Right.
on. You just thought, wow, the only time you tap my shoulder is when you want something. Like,
Right.
I ain't seen you all day. And here you go tapping this shoulder again. I didn't do that. Didn't I serve you? Wasn't I a dutiful wife? Didn't I put food on in front of you and I cooked it up and I was looking cute all day? Didn't I go to work and bring home some money? Didn't I do that? Didn't I wipe our baby's nose and change diapers? And now here you
Mm.
on me? What have you done for me lately? Is what I would say.
Yes. And Janet is my girl. I told you, that's my girl. So when I heard that song, I was younger, significantly younger, nowhere near about to get married, not even thinking about marriage. But when I became a wife, I literally had that thought. I'm like, I understand what Janet was talking about
What
when
have
she
you
said
done?
what she said. Like, I did not sign up for this.
But we didn't know that we did.
We didn't know that
We
we
didn't know
did, because
that
we
we did.
totally did.
You know what they need to do is they need to start letting women know that when you become a wife, you are actually completing a job application and that you just been hired into a position of mommy, waitress, cook, cleaner. Come on, help me out. What other job?
Stripper. Because
Stripper?
that's an expectation too. Headliner at the strip club, as Charmaine always likes to
Did you
say.
say headliner?
Headliner at the strip club. Yes, because you want me to
Yeah.
perform all of these duties and responsibilities. And okay, but then after all of that, you want me to dress it up and
I'm
twirl
tired.
it around. I'm tired.
Tired.
My feet hurt.
Hey girl, let me just be completely transparent. I mean, is it transparent hour? Because my
Yes.
candle is lit. Is it transparency hour? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Hello.
I'm just gonna say, okay. So I'm just gonna say that in the beginning, and
Uh-huh.
I'm probably loud. In the beginning,
Uh-huh.
I could go all week, 7 days a week. It got to the point after a while, your stuff get tired.
It's,
I need at least a day
you
off.
need a break. It
I
needs a
need
break.
I need a day off. And here's the thing, and we're going to get into that subject that you're talking about, feeling just that you only want me for sex. But that's when it starts to begin, because
Yes.
the expectation is that it's going to be hot and heavy like this all the time. And my wife is
Right.
the mom. She cooks, she cleans, she take care of my baby. She goes and works, she do all this, and she lay it down in the bedroom 7 days a week. But when I
Mhm.
get tired, and now I'm falling off and I can only do every other day, and now we're down to 3 days, and you are angry.
Oh, you and your feelings.
You ought to come on, Keisha. You
You
ought to
and your feelings. You over here with an attitude. You looking cross-eyed, like you angry, you snapping at
you
the
staring
kids
from across
and the
the room.
dog.
You staring from across the room. I don't know what you're staring about, but you're staring from across the room and you got something on your mind
Right.
because I'm tired.
Right.
That's when we start to feel a shift and we start to feel like, well, dang, all this that I'm doing, maybe there's a misunderstanding here, but like I'm giving all that I have. Is
Mm-hmm.
that all he wants me for? Am I just
Mm-hmm.
over here? I'm just the winch. I need another one. I mean, is that what we are? What we doing?
Oh, if I had a bell, I would ring it. Like, you're supposed to come. Hello, ding, come
Dang,
on.
winch, bring me another one. Like, huh?
Exactly. And it doesn't work that way. But,
No.
Just one more thing before we transition. Literally, I'm thinking, when you get married, a lot of times we're thinking, what can my spouse do for me? Which is so out of order, right? Because when we enter into marriage, it's really about what I can do for you. How can I serve you?
Yeah.
And I've said this multiple times. If you and I are in a relationship and I am focused on serving you and you are focused on serving me,
Yeah.
then we're both being served.
Yes.
But we have that selfishness of our flesh that tells us that you are supposed to do XYZ. It is an expectation, especially if you begin the marriage that way and we never have a conversation about what those expectations are on both sides. And so we develop those expectations through what we were doing in the beginning. And a lot of times it's not sustainable. When there are no children, I mean, it's just the two of you, right? Well,
Yeah.
once those babies come in, you and I know, because we both have 4. When those babies come, it's like, dude, I'll get to you when I get to you. These babies need blah, blah, blah. And I have to take care of them. And it's not that I don't care about you, but you can take care of yourself. They cannot take care of themselves. And so, hello, we prayed for them. We asked for them. So now God is trusting us to rear them and raise them and nurture them and care for them. And so I'm sorry. I need you to slide to the left.
I mean, and isn't it the order of God? Let's just take it to, make it biblical, because, God shows us things in his nature and in his word. He just shows us. And I think about, there was a time when these breasts
They
belonged
didn't belong to you.
solely to you.
Yes.
I didn't have to share it with four mouths that want to drink.
Come on.
So it's almost like it's overlooked. That aspect of the journey is overlooked. It's for a season. You had me to yourself for a whole
Yes.
season, and it was what it was, and it was good.
Yes.
But when we start moving down the way into a different season, and all your pleasures have been disrupted by these little feeders,
Mm-hmm.
now you
Mm-hmm.
start to feel, they start to get a little resentment. They don't necessarily always understand that it's just a season. And I think that's the turning point for a lot of women, where they feel like this is straight up usury. Like, hold up,
Yes.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing the most. Don't you see these bags under my eyes? Don't you see I'm exhausted? But that need that they have, because they have
Mm-hmm.
a very legitimate, real drive,
Yes.
it causes them to look past the obvious in front of them because they're driven by their need. And
Yeah.
so my heart may not be a part of that conversation, may not be a part of that equation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head for me. So let's talk about some of the reasons why we may develop that thought process or mindset or that feeling in our heart space that our husbands only want us for sex. So, some of this is actually we're conditioned because of society. We're told, I know I was, men only want one thing. They only want sex, right? So some of that stuff, I think we're conditioned growing up with, believing and thinking. And then I know you can relate to this as well. So I had an older brother,
Mm.
and my older brother would tell me these things too. He's just like,
A lot
boys,
of this.
me too. Like, boys only want sex. That's all they want. They only want one thing. So it was something that I was programmed thinking and believing. So I enter into these relationships kind of, looking at you with the side eye, because I'm like, I'm just waiting for you to show me that that's all you want from me. So some of that we're brought up thinking and believing, and it happens before we even enter into our marriage. So if we're already thinking that, and then our husband shows up and they show some signs that kind of look like that might be what it is, we make that connection, but it's not the truth.
No. And I think it goes back also to what you were saying, that, if we go into this marriage understanding we're both supposed to serve one another, all the needs get met, but it's not happening that way. It's
No.
definitely not even. Now we knew, we didn't know, but it's the way God designed it. Let's just be clear.
Yes.
The way God designed it, that we would bear more of the responsibility, the load. He made us to be able to do it. Men can't do what we do. They're not multifaceted like us. They're more focused. They can't vacuum the floor, feed a baby, cook at the same time, talk on the phone, tell them where their socks and shoes and wallet is, make sure the kids get out the door without missing their lunch or missing the bus, talk to the neighbor on the way. They can't do all of that. They weren't equipped to do all that. That's why we come in as the helper. However, when we get into these relationships and we have that mindset that you're talking about, like all they want is sex, all they want is sex, and the imbalance becomes extreme because there's more weight on me now. There wasn't so
Yes.
much weight on me in the beginning. It was
Mm-hmm.
just me and you, but the responsibilities get heavier, and they really do have a genuine need. And so you're saying we should be responsible for each other's needs. How does that happen if we don't have a real understanding of what the needs are?
Right.
I think that's missing oftentimes. If
Yes.
you even think about the five love languages: time, service, gifts, words, and touch.
Mm-hmm.
At certain times in my life, it was time.
Mm-hmm.
At certain times of my life, it was gifts. At certain times, it was words. Whatever I'm lacking goes through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like my husband's gift, or need rather, for touch ain't never changed. But because but because my needs are not met with life, we've gotten busier. Less time for me, but you
Yeah.
still need that sex,
Right.
right? Less touch for me, but you still, well, not touch, because he'll touch you all day. Less gifts for me, but you still need that sex. And so I just think that there's an imbalance. We're not understanding that we both have legitimate needs. And
Yes.
we haven't made it a priority to focus on each other's needs, because if my needs are met, your needs are met easy.
Right.
It's
Right.
natural. It's a natural inclination that I have to meet your needs when my cup is full.
Yes. Yep. But as you said, as we go through these different seasons of life and the responsibilities change and we're pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, and that cup does get low or even empty, the way that you're able to get the fullness of what I have to give is by you continuing to fill up that cup. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. And I think that's why women get frustrated, because we're just like, dude, it's not hard. All you got to do is give a little gift every now and again. Just, can a sister get a hug? Can I get a little touch without the expectation of sex on the end of it? Like,
You know,
it's not hard. Like, it's
I
really
think
not.
so. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to speak for the ladies that feel like it's hard. Okay.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling with your SOS show, you might be more sexual than most of us.
Well,
So
well,
I'm going to say, I think that in seasons it's hard because we have to roll back the tape.
mm-hmm.
If I'm already offended, you
Right.
know, if I'm in a situation where I'm in such a deficit, but I'm still accommodating your need and your cup is full and you're still not satisfied, your cup, you want your cup to overflow. You
Yes.
want your cup to runneth over.
In
My
abundance.
cup is dry. You understand? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Well, I'm saying I think that the mentality of a woman is that it is not hard for him to be able to pour in. Like, it's simple. I'm not asking for much. This is what
Yeah.
I'm asking for, and it's not hard.
Right.
So if you do what I'm asking you to do, then as you said, it flows easy. It just flows. Like, we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to think about it. Let me tell you something. When this brother is meeting these needs outside of the bedroom, outside of the bedroom,
yes,
I literally feel like I cannot keep my hands off of him. Like, I literally am like running, beating you there.
And
like,
it's not fake, is it? It's not like mechanical, let me go. No, you actually are drawn.
No.
You're
Yes.
drawn in.
I feel it. I feel it. And it's a tug and it's a pull. I want to connect with you in that way. I want to take care of you. Why? Because I feel taken care of. And so let's make no mistake, this is not transactional.
Right.
This is a heart thing. Right? This is, I love you. I care about you. Therefore, I want you to be happy. I want you to have joy and peace. And I want you to be satisfied. And if we both have that thought process and mentality, then it's not hard. Right. It's not.
It's easy. It just flows. It flows. But I feel like a lot of women are stuck in the hard place because they don't have a partner that understands that, you know?
Yes.
Or maybe they don't have a partner that's even willing to work at making it reciprocal. It's there. I mean, we've had many clients, I know you have, where the mentality is, it's your job. You're supposed to do it all. That's who you are. That's what you're supposed to do. Do it. And I don't care if you're tired. I don't care how many times it's been to this week. I don't care. I need it. And you need to meet my needs, or else somebody else will.
Okay. So Janella said something on the show last week, because I use the brain as the, CPU analogy, because the brain is our central processing unit for our body. Whatever we think, the body follows and everything else. Janella said, with some of these comments that these men make, it's control, alt, delete. Okay. Like, she is shut down. Nothing is, I said, ooh, Janella, I'm stealing it. It's stolen. So it is control, alt, delete when you come up with these crazy thought processes, viewpoints coming out your mouth sideways. You haven't even thought this through. You are just in your feelings because your need is not being met, and you're not taking the time to observe the fact that she got bags under her eyes, that she got puke on her shoulder because baby threw up on her, that she is just overwhelmed and exhausted. So we have to open our eyes, pay attention, get out of our selfishness and being focused on our needs, and really look at the fact that, you know what, I'm here to be a teammate. I'm here to be a partner, and I'm here to serve you just as much as I desire you to serve me. But we're going to take a quick break. Do not swipe left. Don't swipe right. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. You're watching SOS.
We're really excited about Foundation. It is a new group program where couples are gathering from all around the world twice a week, couples who just want to have a thriving, successful, amazing marriage. No really well-built house is built without a foundation. As a matter of fact, without a foundation, it can't stand. It would just crumble right into the ground. We are going to interview experts and other successful couples so that you can get a glimpse into the lives of other people who are doing what it is that you desire to do, who have and who are accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish. And we also have over 500 videos available for you to watch of all of our teaching. Everything that we've ever done, every topic that we've ever covered will be accessible to you.
So guys, if this sounds exciting to you and if this sounds like something you've been waiting for, go ahead and just give it a try. We're literally giving away a 15-day trial for $1. And then after that, it's simply $3 a day. And so is your marriage worth it? Is your future worth it? Join the community today. Just click that button and meet us on the other side.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching SOS, and I have the wonderful, the phenomenal woman, Danielle Pettiford, with me. And we're discussing how we can help these husbands show up different. We are trying to encourage these wives to let them know they are not alone when they feel as if their husbands only want them for sex. You know, sometimes it's because of the way the husband is showing up. It's the way that he is communicating and, you know, what his actions are showing her. And we talked about the fact that sometimes it literally is societal norms that are feeding these things into us. It's also our family marinate a lot of times, and especially, oh my goodness, us church folk. We're not going to go in on the church folk tonight, but I will say this, or today, we won't go in on the church folk, but we do know that the things that we learn in church definitely impact us and influence us sexually. That could be positively or negatively. And regrettably, in my experience, it's been more negative than it has been positive, because we really haven't been showing Christians, believers, people of faith, that sex is meant to be pleasurable, and we are supposed to decide. God put it here for us to enjoy it. But just like everything, if we do not do it in the way that God intended for us to do it, use it in the way he intended us to use it, that it's actually something that can be tainted and tarnished and made into be something that is ugly and not beautiful the way that God intended it to be. And so again, some of that is just what we're taught growing up. Some of those other thought processes that, you know, have been I think ingrained in some men is that it's her duty. And you kind of talked about that a little bit, Danielle, that, you know, some men have this thought process that it's her duty to give you sex, and that sex is for men and not so much for women, that it's for their pleasure. And that's how it used to be many, many, many moons ago. That was the cultural norm, the societal norm, that, and even in other countries, like, that's still the case, where the woman is not supposed to experience pleasure, that it's all about the husband. So we want to dispel some of those myths today and make sure that you understand that, no, it's meant to be mutually satisfactory, and that we both should be experiencing pleasure out of it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that how distorted and perverted sex is right now. You know,
Yes, it is.
You know, it's hard to get a real grasp on what godly centered sex. I don't even know if that isn't even a term. Maybe it should be. But like, what was God's vision? What was his plan for sex, as opposed to what we're seeing out here in television, online, and everything? I mean, it is so distorted. Pornography is distorted. It's all about a man aggressively pleasing himself with the body of a woman. It's not about the woman. It's not about her soul. It's not about love. And so, you know, we have all these images out here that show us that our bodies are just a toy to be used. And so we don't have the right mindset all the way from the beginning. And I think that church folks, and I grew up in the church, we really never had an understanding of what was right or what was wrong.
Right.
We kind of just went with the expectation of our spouse. And this is not an indictment on any spouse, because they probably did not go to a church where somebody said, listen, son, this is how you treat your queen. This is how you make love to her. what we're experiencing a lot of time in the bedroom is somebody making lust to us, not making love to us.
Say it again. Yes.
Ain't it real? And it's
Yep.
unfortunate because even as the woman, you think, I guess this is all right. I
Mhm.
guess it's all right. I mean, you know, the marriage bed is undefiled, right?
Oh, that's another one. That's another scripture.
File it. So it's tough. I think it's really difficult to know. I mean, I can say for myself that my husband and I, we have set boundaries that are safe for us in our bedroom and that we both, that's important,
Yes.
agree to. And I think that conversation is often not had. And this is why you're met with a lot of contention in the bedroom, because there are expectations and one person doesn't feel comfortable, maybe because of spiritual reasons or lack of understanding or historical experiences, traumatic experiences, why they won't do things in the bedroom. And it just causes frustration and distress. Nobody's really talking about how do we do this right?
Yep. Well, I always find that, let me not say always, because this isn't the case for everyone, but more often than not, it's their expectations that have not been discussed, to your point. And you can't hold someone accountable for something they never knew was an expectation. You cannot. And then there are times where we're entering into the bedroom, we haven't had a conversation. You want to spring something new on me, and we've never talked about it. So when I say, hold up,
What you doing?
what you doing? What you doing? Then you see that as rejection.
Wait a minute,
Now
Keith, I
rejecting.
gotta ask people to say something in the chat. If you've ever had to say, what you doing? Throw your hand up in the chat. Because I just want to know, are we alone? Is it just us where we just sitting up one day, what we find, and then the leg is going over here, and you're like, wait, what you doing? Where you get that from?
Wait a minute. What just happened? Okay, so literally that is a situation that happens like all the time. We would rather just go for it versus having a conversation first. But if we have no foundational trust, then now what you have done is now you've created this uncomfortable space that doesn't make me want to be completely open and vulnerable with you. And the only way that you can truly enjoy sex and intimacy with your spouse is you must have vulnerability. You cannot go in guarded in any way, shape, or form. And so once that's there in your mind, you can't relax, you're tense. It's a whole mess.
You don't know what's coming next. Lord.
You don't know what's happening, what's going on. And so now I'm ready for you. Like, I'm on guard. Like, okay, let's see what you got. I got something for you. But I wanted to touch on something else that you said, that, you know, if a woman feels as if her husband only values her for sex, then literally she feels like I'm just a tool and you're only using me for your physical pleasure. And so now I'm just a human masturbation sleeve.
Oh, girl.
I'm sorry. Can we be real?
Yes, we can. Can everybody just breathe after that? Because I feel like, yes, that's kind of how it feels. You know, it's like, is this about me or is this about you? And I do want to add something because, you know, my husband and I, we've been married 20 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are others out there. Amen. There are others out there that maybe they have not been married as long. And there is a journey of development, even in your intimacy in the bedroom, you know. Some of this takes, okay, wow, we didn't know we were supposed to have a conversation about this. Some of this takes getting past actually being afraid to say what you like and don't like. You know, like it took years for me to get that comfortable to be like, okay, I don't want to hurt his ego, but I really don't like this. You know, I really don't like that. Every time you do it, I'm like, okay, but I didn't really like that, but I don't want to say that because you're just trying to please me. And, you know, and so you go through these cycles and you get to the point where, like you're saying, that you have this complete and total transparency and you can actually be in the bedroom and be like, hold on, what you doing? Because we have that level of connection and understanding. We're just completely honest. And that's really what you want to get to. When you're at that place, then, you know, the bedroom is an amazing place because you have freedom on both sides.
And I should be safe. I should be safe in there. We both should be safe, not just physically, mentally and emotionally, spiritually as well. But what about those times where you do have to have those crucial conversations about maybe you're not being pleased, maybe this is painful, maybe something is triggering me, because we are Couples Academy and we talk about having sex after betrayal, and it's hard. So maybe you try to transition back into that level of intimacy, and yet you're still having these images in your mind, you're having flashbacks, you're being triggered during the act, and you need to stop, like literally in the middle of, like, you feel as if I need to stop because this is too much for me. You need to be able to have that transparency, that openness to share with your spouse, and they need to be okay with that. Like, they need to not make you feel bad about the fact that you're expressing what you need and what your thresholds are in that moment. And then now support me in helping me to navigate this and work through this and get to the healing that I need so that I can give you all of me again.
Yes. I mean, yes.
So I'm just saying, can you believe it has been 30 minutes? I don't even understand how that just happened. I really, really don't. But because you are the mastermind, along with Sir Pettifor, behind Foundations, I intended to have you speak a little bit about Foundations. So when you do that, then we will go ahead and close out. But I think it's a golden opportunity to have you just speak about the benefit of couples being able to get into Foundations. And I know this is SOS, but guess what? Sex comes up there too, right?
I think everything comes up in Foundations, and that's the beauty of it, because everyone needs a strong foundation in their marriage. And unfortunately, most of us did not get that. We came into our marriage how we came into it. We might have had a little bit of premarital counseling from somebody that really had a terrible marriage or didn't know what they was doing, and we really are, most of us are learning how to do marriage in the midst of our marriage on our own. And
OJT, on the job training.
Yes. And I will say that one thing that I have learned is that self-counseling is no counseling at all. You cannot figure it out on your own. And Foundations is a beautiful way to gather with other like-minded couples who are striving for a marriage that is closed, committed, follows the principles, godly principles, and really has some strong foundations for you to build upon so that you have a legacy that you'll leave behind. So it's an awesome program. I think we still have the bonus, the deal going on. Is that correct?
Yeah, $1.
Try it out. When we were young couples, we really desired to connect with other like-minded couples. We really desired that, and we really had no place to go. So that's another side bonus, is that you will connect with other like-minded couples who are striving for the same thing as you. So it's a beautiful place to be.
I agree, and I participate in those sessions, and it's just wonderful. The information that's being shared, and as you said, the camaraderie between couples is definitely an added bonus. You said something I want to highlight. You said closed marriage, okay? Closed marriage, but open legs if you do it right. So I just want to say thank you all for watching. I so appreciate it. We will be here same time. And when I say we, I'm really talking about me. You are welcome back anytime. You don't need an invitation, but I will be here same time next week, 12 p.m. Eastern. And so please like, share, subscribe, make sure that you download the Couples Academy app so you are staying connected with everything that is Couples Academy. But you all enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, love, and happiness. And we'll see you on the other side.